Insert 2 tokens to play. Bonus features with Alex and Robert, stage 12.
All right, so the Rockets won last night.
They did. It's getting a little bit interesting in the NBA postseason.
I told you, man. I mean, granted, by the time this is released, they could lose again, and then they'd be down 3-2. But they've tied it up, man. They're making it interesting.
Yeah, that's good. That's good news.
It is good news.
I'm still paying attention to baseball more. Sorry.
Well, I saw there's the Cubs they're on, and they're losing, and I was like, I don't want to watch.
Yeah.
This is going to be boring. They're down 4-0. It was against the Rockies, I think.
When was that?
I don't know. Maybe that was like a week ago.
Well, either way, I'm hoping things work out on that front.
Oh, I'm sure they will. It's just, the season's like 3/4 of a year, so I'm paying attention to playoffs. Oh, and speaking of playoffs, congratulations to the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, that's real special.
Advancing to the championship round.
Yeah, the town of Vegas has been put through quite the ringer this year, so it's good to see them getting a win.
Right, and I'm hoping they win the finals. Oh yeah, they got Game 7. Of course, that'll be settled by the time this is released. I like their chances against either team. I don't know why I have a weird feeling I'd rather see them play the Lightning.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the Capitals would be so high on fumes, like, holy shit, we made it!
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I don't know. I just like their chances better against the Lightning. Plus, like, Ovi, Beagle, Smith Pelly, like, everyone's killing it right now. They got some guys.
Should be interesting.
It sure should be. Speaking of interesting, do we have some interesting things going on in the movie world?
We do, in fact. So moving on to our news, our first item here is Halle Berry is officially joining the cast of John Wick Chapter 3. And that's not only just Halle Berry, though she is the most notable name on the list of people joining the cast. We also have Angelica Huston, Asia K. Dillon, Ruby Rose is coming back.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, which is weird. I heard a rumor that Common might also possibly be coming back somehow.
Okay.
I don't know if he, spoilers, still has that knife stuck in him.
Right.
But, yeah, there's...
Now, you're forgetting some super important, way cooler additions.
Oh, yes?
Come on, man. All right, so we got... I don't really know this guy, but you're forgetting Tiger Hu Chen, who's actually like a pretty... like big deal stunt guy. He's done some stuff like Kill Bill, and he was the fight choreographer of the first Matrix.
Oh wow! So he probably goes back with the director Chad Stahelski.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is like one of the proteges of Yen Wo Ping.
Wow,
who's basically like all the like sweetheart type movies. He's just the guy when it comes to choreography.
So we got him.
So we got Tiger Hu Chen and a couple Raid alumni.
Really?
Got Yayan Ruhian.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. Yayan Ruhian, and this guy was just in the second one, I believe.
Okay.
I'm gonna fucking butcher his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Sesep or Sekep, Kekep, I don't know. C-E-C-E-P. Make of that what you will. I'm gonna call him Sesep Arif Rahman.
Okay. Well, I haven't seen Raid 2, but I know my Mad Dog. If I've seen Raid 1, I'm going to know who that is.
That's exactly correct. Well, actually, it's confusing as hell because...
he's in 2 also as a
he's
different
in
character.
2 as a different character.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I saw it in theaters, everyone's like, is that Mad Dog? Like, yeah, but so... Yeah, this is going to be a huge cast because now we've got some people who are, well known for some acting stuff. And, some guys who are well known for some fighting stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we're really getting the best of both worlds here.
We sure are.
Not only that, I think this is nice. It's kind of like, hey, Halle Berry, sorry you were underutilized in Kingsman 2.
Yeah,
Want to be in our movie instead and do something really badass? All right.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the return of, the official return, that is, of Halle Berry action star. Because she had a couple of, what was that kidnap movie she had where it was, kind of trying to do that and it just didn't work. I feel like this would be the good vehicle for her to do so.
No, yeah, this is a great cast. I'm very excited about this news. I think this should be a really solid number 3. And as we say, threes are usually they're kind of tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Like the only one I can think of off the top of my head that's like, wow, that was fantastic, was Mission Impossible 3, and then even that got outdone eventually.
Right.
But I think this should be a solid number 3, as 2 was better than the first one for this series.
I agree.
All right, so moving on, our next piece of news was the trailer for Happytime Murders, which you could only watch in Red Band, which to me was a red flag, no pun intended. So I watched the trailer, and it's, as anyone could imagine, it's basically like Muppets, but with noirish murder mystery element.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I'm pretty worried. Like, this trailer did not make me want to see it all that much, because it kind of seemed like one of those, like similar to Sausage Party, one of those movies where it's like, oh, we're taking a genre or, tropes, like puppets or whatever, but now we can say fucking shit and fart and swear and show sex and stuff.
Yeah. I felt the same. That was a comparison I was going to use. Is it felt a lot like, look what we can do with this thing that no one's done before. But there's no joke in this that's really that funny to me.
Right. I didn't really laugh like all that hard at anything. And everything I did laugh, it's like, you want to like this, right? Right?
Yeah.
You're just like forcing yourself to laugh. It's like, that was a pity laugh, and you know damn well it was.
The stuff that I thought was the funniest was like that scene where like the dude comes in and like shoots the 2 puppets, and like they turn into like,
right.
stuffing, and like, that was funny because I've never seen that before, but like.
But it's like, I've seen all the like, oh, I get it, they can do drugs and stuff.
Yeah, like, oh, he said, oh, he's a puppet, but he said he'll, suck someone's balls or whatever.
No, it's like, I'll suck your dick. It's like, again, we've said this on here time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
You can have something be as blue as you want. Just, please, Jesus Christ, set up punchline. Just make it, or be clever, or I don't know, like anything. Just make it work. Don't just be like, I'll suck your dick. It's like, that's the joke?
Yeah.
That's like really, like, the second, that was like, what was that, the first joke in the trailer?
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, that's weak sauce. That's really weak.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I was just like, shit, I hope this gets better. And there's like a couple, like the silly string thing I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then they overdid it.
Yeah, I was going to say they killed it.
Right? God. I don't know. You know what? I hate saying this, but I think this might not be good. I might even skip this.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless I hear something really good about it, I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. I like that Brian Henson is like
directing,
working with. Yeah, he's directing, and I like that. I like the lineage there. But I don't know what to make of this trailer. It didn't really make me laugh. It looked like it was riding too hard on like the, this is have you seen this before? Have you ever seen a puppet swear?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it didn't really if you've been awake at 3 a.m. on Adult Swim, you've pretty much seen everything in terms of shock value, humor.
Right.
So this didn't really move the needle for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Also, there's almost no Elizabeth Banks in this trailer at all. But I really doubt that she alone could save this, just based on everything I saw.
Right.
So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. Not moving the needle, but we'll have to wait and find out once people have seen it, what they're thinking. So, moving right along, would you like to take us away with story number 3?
Yes, we have some more casting news for It Chapter 2. So, in addition to James Ransone being added to the cast as the adult version of Eddie, and Andy Bean being added to the cast as the adult version of Stanley, we also have Jay Ryan set to play adult Ben in It Chapter 2. And one of the things that I noticed about these 3 casting choices in particular is that they're not going for the big names. They're going for actors who actually look like the older versions of the characters from the first one. And I actually kind of like that. I think that's, I haven't necessarily seen all the work of all these actors. I know James Ransone, like I've seen him in a couple of things. He's in Sinister. He's pretty good. But yeah, I think this will be a good. I like this choice as opposed to like let's get whoever's hot right now. You know.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is a lot of. I mean, I've said this before. A lot of like really great movies. A lot of my favorite movies. I don't really know who any of the actors are like off the top of my head, or I only know them because of that movie. Like The Warriors is a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't name anyone really off the top of my head who's in that.
Yeah.
But that also kind of helps you not get distracted,
right?
Sort of.
It makes it more seamless,
right? And I especially like that with bigger ensembles, which is kind of nice,
right?
Like, have you ever seen City of God?
No.
They used pretty much all non-professional actors, I think, for the most part, or at least for all the kids and stuff. And you know, it helped make it feel authentic and all that good stuff. So yeah, I actually really like that we're not like, hey, let's use the same 10 people you're sick of. Mm-hmm. Do you hate Chris Pratt yet? Well, we're working on it. We're just gonna put him in a couple more movies so you never want to see his face ever again.
Right.
Like, cause that basically has happened with. I hate saying this, like you just get sick of some fucking people after a while, and it's just like, Jesus, finally. Like, I know, like, these guys are all, like, from TV series mostly, right?
Right.
So, I'm sure there's some fans who recognize them, but it's, you know, it's nice that other people are getting some work.
Yeah, no, I like the choices a lot. I think that, as creatively speaking, I think it really speaks to the kind of feel that they're going for here, which is something that makes a lot more sense than it does money, you know?
Right.
I like that. So...
Also, that's the other thing is... I think this will make a decent buck because the first one made a hell of a lot of money. It's almost like the star... I think I said this on here before. The star of horror movies is not the people usually.
Not at all.
And it just so happens that it, unlike other horror folklore, has really developed, you know, main cast. Yeah. You know, so it's like not like like I always the example I use for, you know the forgettable cast I always use is Friday the 13th. Mm-hmm. Like I can't name a single counselor by name, and I've seen all those movies like 100 times.
Yeah, and even like Nightmare on Elm Street is like I don't remember. But I don't remember who the hell is in that other than Johnny Depp because that's just like a noted fun fact that everybody knows.
Heather Langenkamp.
Yeah, you
she's
lost
Nancy.
me. You lost me at the first part of her overly complicated last name.
Whatever. Whatever. You got
who's
Tina. You got Nancy.
Well, I know Nancy, but like I don't know who played her.
Heather Langenkamp.
Okay. God damn, this is gonna be my white whale. This Heather Langenkamp. Like who is she?
Yeah, but. Okay.
But I get what you mean. Like horror casts are like
the rest of that series. I'll meet halfway with you on. It's like who the fuck is Patricia Arquette's character's name? I don't know her name.
I didn't even know she was in a Nightmare on Elm Street.
She's in 3, I think.
Okay.
Well, there you go. It's like I think she was in 3. Where like.
There's there's a bunch of those where you're like, isn't Paul Rudd in Halloween something?
He's in 5.
Season of the Witch? Is that the one?
No, no, wait.
See, here we go.
We're like, kinda.
These kinds of movies aren't necessarily known for their star-studded casts.
So even this is kind of like having your cake and eating it too. It's like here you have a great cast of characters,
right?
And now you're going to cast them with, not the same 5 people you've seen over and over again.
Right.
So, yeah, this is the best of both worlds. And I want to say, harken back to what you were saying about they're definitely going for resemblance. The Eddie person, it looks like... It looks like the kid actor who played him. It's just like...
the same face.
It's like... here's what he'll look like now.
Yeah, no, it looked like James. I was shocked because I'm like, crazy. James Ransone looks exactly like Jack Dylan Grazer. It's crazy.
He looks like he came from the future to tell Jack Dylan, what's his name?
Jack Dylan Grazer.
Yeah, tell him not to do drugs.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he's just hired by his parents.
Yeah.
And then you'll realize I'm ripping off a South Park episode premise, but yeah.
Still waiting on that Mike Hanlon casting though.
Right. See, I wanted the Wamu guy, but
he's a little. Well,
Wayne, what's his name?
Wayne Wilderson.
Wayne Wilderson. Yes. He might be a little old, though. He's 50-something.
You know what? They're de-aging De Niro and Pesci and Pacino in that freaking Irishman movie. Let's give old Wayne a shot at this tech.
Huh.
There's your groundbreaking tech for this movie. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it's just he's who pops into my mind because when I've read the book, he's like a dorky librarian when he's older.
Right.
And it's just like, that's him, man.
Right.
Like, that's who I thought of.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really, I don't know. He's the guy who pretty much initiates the action for, I guess, what we're calling Chapter 2, even though it's intercut in the book. But he brings the gang together, the club, rather.
He's a super important part of their adult journey.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing that. But other than that, yeah, I think this casting news is really right on.
So, yeah, that's Mike Hanlon is who we've got left. Who else?
We would have had left, what's his name?
Are any of the bullies alive?
That's what I was going to say.
I can't remember.
What's the kid's name? The kid that falls down the well at the end of 1.
Oh, shit.
The main kid, Henry Bowers. That's his name. Well, isn't he alive in the adult part of it? Am I losing it?
In both the book
in the original
and the original miniseries.
Isn't he like incarcerated?
Yeah, he's at an insane asylum.
Yeah. See, that was, I remember, like a huge departure for, because I don't know why.
And what happens, spoilers in the book. Well, you mind if I tell you?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so like, it's in the miniseries.
Yeah.
What's his name's like, it takes the form of like Belch or something, like as a ghost. Mm-hmm. It's like, dude, I'm still alive. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, let's get out of here and kill the Losers Club. It's good stuff.
Hey, maybe he's still alive. Who knows? I didn't see him hit the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it is a trickster.
It sure is.
Pennywise, he's a shiesty one.
He sure is.
You're a shiesty one, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that should be the next crossover extravaganza.
Oh God, the Grinch and it.
Yeah. Or you know what? No, I don't want to speak things into existence.
Yeah, like I did with the live-action Toy Story.
Yep.
That is
exactly.
It's gonna happen. I'm waiting for it. Yeah. But anyway.
So that's it for it.
It sure is it for it. Now moving on to some casting news. Of course, again, we have some casting news for Spider-Man: Homecoming 2. It seems as though Jake Gyllenhaal is in negotiations to play the lead villain in the sequel, and that villain is going to be good old Quentin Beck himself, Mr. Mysterio.
I like that. I
like that too a lot.
What a perfect villain to use for the modern blockbuster age, right? Because it's a special effects / failed magician, like wizard type guy.
Right.
That's his whole, failed effects wizard / magician. What's his name? Quentin Beck. Quentin Beck. So it's like that like the thing that I could imagine being perfectly executed is there's like a scene, this is a classic trope. The guy who makes a bunch of dummies of himself.
Yeah.
So like I just imagine Spider-Man fighting like 100 of those.
Oh man.
To get this. He's like, I found you. He's like, did you? And then he pulls like a Power Rangers and gets gigantic.
Yeah, I like that. Oh man.
And I don't know what. So some mirrors, smoke, some smoke and mirrors,
some goofy
and lasers.
Lasers.
Yeah.
Some special effects. Oh man. I have so many fond memories of Mysterio as a character in Spider-Man lore.
Mysterio actually holds a special place in my memory.
Oh yeah.
One of the first 2 comics I ever bought was a Spider-Man comic. And because he kept his mask on and because I didn't understand convoluted, idiotic storylines, it was actually Ben Reilly.
Oh, okay.
Not Peter Parker.
So this was like back in the 90s.
Yeah, this is like 96 or whatever. But it was a great comic because it's Ben Reilly gets shrunk down and he's in this kid's room and all the toys come to life and he has to beat them all up and then he finds Mysterio and kicks Mysterio's ass. It's a great comic.
Yeah,
it's one of my favorites.
Mysterio for me holds a special place in my heart because of Spider-Man 2, the video game.
Oh yeah. Hey, the imposter.
Yeah, he was by far the best headliner villain in any superhero game I've played. Like,
oh man,
Doc Ock was the main villain in that, but the Mysterio segment where he turns the Statue of Liberty into Mysterio and it's so good.
Oh my god, I just remembered. Jesus Christ, those games were great.
Right? It was so good. And oh man, that's just one of my favorite parts in any game. And you find him at the end of that arc, you find him robbing a gas station. And I remember you walk into the gas station and he has a life bar pops up on the screen. You're like, oh shit, it's a boss fight. So you walk up to him and you attack him.
Yeah.
And he immediately dies. His life bar goes all the way down and he just gets disarmed.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Well, what is this all about?
How'd you give yourself up that quick?
And then you're like, oh, what a fool I am. Of course, it was just a ruse.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is just, you thought it was going to be too easy, but it ended up being too easy after all.
Well, yeah, but dude, oh man, I forgot about those games. Yeah, but that's exciting. And
what do you think about the casting choice? If Gyllenhaal indeed ends up going through with it,
I imagine it's like Lou Bloom, but trying to do the first scene I imagine is it's essentially just Lou Bloom from Nightcrawler. Trying to impress kids at a birthday party, and they're just all on iPhones and shit, and it's just kids, they don't know shit today. I don't know why. That's what I imagined it.
I imagine his agent pitching it to him all right, Jake, it's you're Lou Bloom meets the Bubble Boy. All right, I'm in. Just some shit like that where I don't know. It's weird because I've always considered Jake Gyllenhaal one of those guys that's above it now that post Prince of Persia he's just kind of fuck it, I'm done.
Yeah.
But he's been almost a lot of things. He was almost Batman. He was almost Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3 because Tobey Maguire hurt his back.
Oh, really?
Filming Seabiscuit, and they were considering recasting him. But lo and behold, that didn't happen. So he's been circling around a lot of roles like this for a while, and it's interesting to see him finally taking one on.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a couple people who have been sort of in and out of the talks. Emily Blunt's been that a couple times.
All time, yeah. McConaughey was almost Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Norman
Osborn or some shit.
Well, jury's still out on that.
Yeah, who knows?
But, yeah, there's a lot. It's Marvel is just we'll get you eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Hold on, real quick, though. Back to the game.
Yeah.
And the animated series. That voice. Mysterio!
Yeah.
It was just so ridiculous.
I loved it,
Okay,
though.
but yes. Okay, so switching the channel back to what we're just talking about. Jake Gyllenhaal, I like that choice a lot.
Yeah, I like him for pretty much any villain.
I was going to say, I could see him working out in any number of roles.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't be Captain America, for
Right.
instance, but I could see him being a Green Lantern of some
Yeah,
kind.
it could be a Kyle Rayner.
Yeah, actually, I like that. I could see that for sure.
He would have been I know we talked about this, but he would have been a post Nightcrawler. He was one of my choices to play Joker in Suicide Squad.
Oh, a lot of people were talking about that. I think that would have worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be or it sounds like it's awfully close to being closed.
Yeah, it sounds like it's probably shaping up to be Jake Gyllenhaal as this
All right.
character. I also saw that Matt Damon was originally approached to play the villain in this, and I'm interested in, was he going to play Mysterio? Are there going to be more villains in this? Are we setting up a Sinister Six movie, kind of like was hinted at the end of Homecoming 1?
Well, that's the other thing. What's his name? Michael Keaton's back as Vulture.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I don't know. I imagine they're going to add some sort of sidekicks.
Oh my God. I hope so.
They don't really do solo anything anymore.
Right. Well, the two villains I've always wanted to see from Spider-Man, and they've been holding out until this point. It's been Mysterio and Kraven. And if this new trilogy, which I'm assuming it'll be, it does anything, I want both of those.
I don't know. Kraven could be used in the Sony universe, though.
Oh, yeesh.
It could be, though.
Well, are those one and the same now?
That's there's so much I don't get. There's all right, so a quick update on Silver and Black. I have no idea what the hell is going on. That's just halted production and is fallen off the... if you remember, I was having the Pepe Silva moment with that before. it's just like it's fallen off the face of the earth. Like I'm almost 90% sure that it's not going to get made, and then the other 10% that'll make me 100% sure it won't be made will depend on, let's say, Venom does poorly. Then it has no chance. So I don't know. It's like that shit's still confusing how the rights work. So who knows? I think we'll get some answers probably with Homecoming 2 or whatever the hell they end up calling it.
I think when Venom comes out, we'll probably have some sort of an indication because there's some rumors about certain cameos being shot, and we'll see if that's kind of a what they're going for. But at this point, it's anybody's guess.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So moving right along, Deadpool writers are going to team up with Michael Bay to make a Netflix movie. And it's probably going to suck because it's on Netflix.
Well, there is another movie coming out for Netflix with a similar budget. We talked about The Irishman, which...
Oh, that's right.
Which hopefully doesn't suck. I mean, if anything, I trust the writers. I don't trust Michael Bay so much. But I trust whoever writes for Michael Bay because, again, it's like The Rock is a good movie.
Right.
It's a quite good film. And there are even some movies in Michael Bay's filmography that are decent. Like the first Transformers is pretty good.
Yeah, I like the first Transformers.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think with the right creative team behind him, he'll be fine. And I like Ryan Reynolds, and I think this premise sounds fun.
What is the premise?
So it's going to be about, let's see, 6 billionaires.
Oh, that's right.
They fake their deaths.
They fake their deaths and they go after bad guys.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I mean,
Yeah,
there's nothing outwardly
know.
Nope.
No.
Not seeing that.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just, well...
Netflix is spotty.
No, see, that's my biggest... Well, I had kind of had a similar reaction, because Irishman, I'm like, oh, it sounds great, and then you're like, it's on Netflix. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Man. Well, hopefully... What comes out first, Irishman or this?
I'd imagine The Irishman, because that, I think, is next year, and this isn't even filming yet, I don't think.
Well, I don't know. Hopefully it's good. I think, I would say the bigger problem is Michael Bay working with Netflix on paper, I think. Because, I agree with you. Michael Bay can make good things. It's just the idea of him working with Netflix, I feel like it kind of encourages, like, yeah, do that shitty idea.
Yeah. They couldn't really do it with David Ayer or Duncan Jones, really, with their two films that came out.
And David Ayer, aside from Suicide Squad, everything I've seen of his, I think, is amazing. So, here's to hoping.
Yeah, same here. But
yeah.
Moving on, also on the topic of Netflix, we have a first look at Matt Groening's Fractured Fairy Tale Netflix series.
Not so fast. You forgot to talk about this trailer coming out for this awesome looking movie.
Did I skip over that?
You sure did.
Oh, god damn it. I skipped over it because it's like...
Because it's going to be amazing.
I tried to block it out.
It's going to be the next Casablanca.
Sick for toys. This looks... Look, why don't you go look up the trailer?
Look up the trailer for Sick for Toys. And now, there's a part where... it's right at the beginning. This guy sees this pretty girl, and she's like, I just love decorating. Like, practically making that noise. Like, if you read between the lines, you're like, she's holding back, going, between every word. And she just seems really creepy and has those, like that exasperated, like, I, like, kill kittens for fun, like, look in her eyes.
Right.
And she's like, you want to come to my house for dinner? The guy's like, sure, stranger I don't know. What could go wrong? And then it's like, the
whole trailer goes wrong.
Right. And then the girl and her brother are, like, murderers, and there's something weird about, like, playing with toys and Christmas and some shit. I don't know.
Someone's having sex, it looks like, and, like, what is going on? What is happening?
It's like, I think this might be one of the... this could be the train wreck I've been waiting for all year.
Yeah, when is it due to come out?
I don't even know.
Definitely this year, though, for sure, it seems like.
I think so. It's either this year or like January.
Okay, well, January would make a lot of sense. But yeah, this looks very silly.
We don't want to ruin your Christmas holiday with this movie. We'll wait till after.
It'll be like a nice after-dinner mint.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So that's coming out. Yeah, but seriously, you know what? Watch the trailer for Sick for Toys and tell us what you think about it in our comment section, either on YouTube here or on the Book of the Face.
Yes. So now we're going to get to Matt Groening's new Netflix series.
Right, moving on to things that might actually be good.
Yeah. Disenchantment. So this is going to be a series that is going to premiere on August 17th. It's 10 episodes long. We got a little bit of an indication of what it's about. It's going to be about life and death, love and sex, and how to keep laughing in a world full of suffering and idiots, despite what the elders and wizards and other jerks tell you. So this is also going to have Abby Jacobson, Nat Faxon, Eric Andre, as well as some veteran voice actors, John DiMaggio, Billy West, Maurice LaMarche, Tress MacNeille. What do you think about the artwork here?
I really like what I'm seeing, obviously. I guess it's sort of like a inverse Futurama in a way, because it's like a medieval fantasy.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I think this has, I don't want to jump the gun, but this has a lot of potential, because animation's sort of been like on and off so much. Because like, I really liked the first season of Rick and Morty, and that show kind of, it went downhill fast, in my opinion. And then there's stuff that'll come along like Super Jail, but that's like, you know, you're waiting for, you know, weird amounts of time in between.
Right.
And then, you know, things don't last, things get canceled. So this looks like the first animated series in a long time that looks like it has a larger budget, sort of.
Yeah, the animation's being done by Rough Draft Studios. They did Futurama, obviously. And it looks good. I mean, this is obviously like just some concept art and maybe some stills, but it looks like a Matt Groening show. But
it does that's the kind of artwork where it makes you want to watch the show.
Right.
Because sometimes I'll see concept art and I'm still kind of like, yeah, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's like that Harley show.
Yeah.
With that, there's a lot more moving pieces because I'm familiar with the characters. Mm-hmm. But with this, I'm like, okay, I want to know more about this. I would like to tune into this. So this one slipped by me, as a lot of animation news seems to.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's just because production is so different. So I guess with that in mind, I'm glad I caught wind of this, you know, a few months in advance. So I'm very excited about this series, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Me too. Finally, moving on to our last story.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Six.
Yeah.
Auteur, provocateur.
Behind some of the greatest films of all time, the Human Centipede trilogy, of course. He's got a new movie coming out, which he's describing as vile, and what was the other thing he said? Some kind of superlative, like the
vile and sadistic, or something?
Some of, like the worst movie ever made, or like vile, inhumane experience is what he called it.
Right.
One of the most vile, inhumane movies of all time, he's calling it. And it's called the Onania Club, or Onania Club. I don't know how you pronounce it. But
right.
It's coming out this year.
And there's not a lot to go off of, but I mean, if you've seen his other films,
he's got there's a lot to pull from.
There's a lot to pull from. So, you know what? I salute him just for doing what he's doing. He's like, you know, people will say, you know, that's too gross, or you can't do that, and he's like, And people say this about other movies. He's like, you know what? I think I can go grosser.
Yeah.
I can be more disgusting.
Well, he certainly did with the second Human Centipede. I haven't seen 3.
Right. You know what? That's on my list, and I'll be soon to watch that.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so we salute you, Tom Six. Do what you want to do, man.
You do you, my friend.
Yeah. And now for a special report on Cannes Film Festival. We had our field reporter Robert he didn't go there.
No, I didn't.
But he's got some stuff. He's got a write up.
I do have a write-up.
Ready, go.
So the 71st Annual Cannes Film Festival closed this past Saturday. The festival commenced on the 8th of May and included a number of noted premieres and awards recipients, as per usual. The festival's biggest prize this year, the Palme d'Or, went to a Japanese film from director Hirokazu Koreeda, entitled Shoplifters, which is a small drama about a family of crooks that take in a child they find on the street. The second prize, the Grand Prix Award, went to Spike Lee for the crime comedy drama Black Klansman, which follows the wild but true story of Ron Stallworth, an African-American detective in Colorado Springs who managed to infiltrate the local chapter of the Ku Klux Klan and eventually even became the head of that chapter. The movie ended up actually getting a 10-minute standing ovation at the end of its screening. Getting only a 4-minute standing ovation was another movie that premiered at Cannes, and a movie that we of course talked about, Solo: A Star Wars Story. Another movie we talked about, Under the Silver Lake, David Robert Mitchell's newest Mindbender, ended up receiving mixed reactions from the festival. But this year's biggest, most controversial film goes to The House That Jack Built, Lars von Trier's homecoming, if you will, to Cannes, after having his persona non grata status lifted after 6 years of exile from the festival. And boy, was this a refresher for festival goers on the reasons why they banned him in the first place. The movie, which stars Matt Dillon and Uma Thurman, follows the life and times of a serial killer named Jack, and the trailer for this movie just says it all. Feel free to look it up, but as always, viewer discretion is yours and advised. The movie drew groans from audience members and is reported to have caused walkouts north of 100 of them. Now, it's also being reported that after the screening concluded, whoever was left in the theater gave the movie a prolonged standing ovation. We don't know how many that was. It could have been one person, but there was one.
It was just like, wow, so it's probably like right out of that scene in Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It's like,
where it's just him.
No, or sorry, it's just one guy clapping. But have you seen the Shia LaBeouf thing?
Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf, where he's the only one in the audience.
Oh yeah,
and he does that clap.
That's great.
I feel like that could have
probably Lars von Trier.
In disguise.
Yeah, so he was wearing like long hair or something.
Oh yes, that Lars von Trier guy. He's very good at making the films.
Oh, thank you. That was very nice thing somebody else said. Oh man.
Yeah. So I saw that trailer.
What do you think?
Man.
It just seems like too much for me. It's like, all right, I like someone getting killed in a movie, but Jesus.
It's like, I don't know. It's like, it looks real wacky.
Yeah.
It looks real goofy. And I think here's my biggest, takeaway from the trailer. It's like, not that I was so offended or any other bullshit like that. It's more like, how did he land Matt Dillon in this? And Uma Thurman?
Yeah.
That's more what surprises me than anything. It's like, I mean, I get that a lot. It's like with Human Centipede movies. It's like, he got people to be in this.
Yeah.
They signed up and they read the script and they're like, they maybe called their agent.
They rehearsed. With these words and these actions.
Maybe a table read?
Oh, man.
What did that go? Feed her. So-and-so poops into so-and-so's mouth.
And then so-and-so poops the poop. Poops the poop into the other person's mouth, yeah.
And then they're just like, all right, guys, at the table read, remember, we are making muffled noises.
Yeah.
So let's try that again. Feed her. Poos in the other person's mouth.
Oh, my God.
All right, now remember, you're going to have to sound more scared when we actually have you guys faux sewed together.
Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine the director giving action? Remember, this is poop. You got to be scared.
Remember, it does not taste good.
Oh, man. Far too much poop.
We could
I don't know how. Can you imagine the French people listening to this? We managed to devolve an entire conversation about their most prestigious film festival into feces.
Actually, we're making an artistic statement about what I think about most Cannes movies. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, most Cannes movies are shit. So.
Yeah, so poop.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
we could seriously do a week-long podcast just dissecting Tom Six's brain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
And
his, why? Just why Tom Six?
Yeah, what makes that man tick?
Yeah.
Barbara Walters, you gotta get that interview. So tell me.
So Tom, why? Just why? Why are you doing this to us?
What is your obsession with feces? I don't know, but yeah, we could talk about Human Centipede all day. But back to this.
Yeah, this movie.
Well,
I don't know.
that should say something. The fact that we're like kind of comparing this to that.
It's on that level. Like, there's some stuff where I'm like I don't even want to. There's some stuff in here in this trailer. I'm like, did they really do that? Like, it looks like he's shooting kids, like at a camp. And it made me think of like the Norway shooting with like Anders Breivik and all that. And like, there's another scene where he's like got the body tied to like the back of a van and is like dragging it. And I'm like, either put the body in the van or leave it. Like, you can't do both. Like, I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. This looks awfully bizarre in a number of ways, because it's like, it's almost like he was like, no, we have to make a more gruesome serial killer movie. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's like, it
just seems excessive, you know?
I mean, but that kind of seems like that's the point.
Yeah, and that's excessive is definitely like Lars von Trier would be like, yeah, isn't it great?
I mean, should anyone really be surprised at this? Like,
the guy made a 2-part movie about people having sex for like 4.5 hours.
Right, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, I guess I was like, I found myself like laughing uncomfortably at a lot of this trailer. Like, I'm just like, is this for real?
Yeah, man.
I don't know, man. It's just like, whatever he wants to make, go right ahead and do it, man. Just don't expect people to like it, I guess.
Especially at the festival where booing is literally like a tried and true of a custom.
Boo, le boo.
Yeah. I was looking up some of the movies that got booed at Cannes, by the way, in history, and I was like, what the like Inglourious Bastards, Taxi Driver, they both got booed.
Well, okay, Taxi Driver, you haven't seen it, of course.
Well, but still, it's
no, I'm saying like that's a very
it's violent.
I mean, the difference is, I guess in a loose, murky moral way, mm-hmm. you can. I mean, Travis Bickle is still wrong.
Yeah.
Like in most everything he does,
he just accidentally becomes right.
Sort
in a weird way.
In a weird way.
Through not his actions. In a way.
Well, in a disassociative.
Yeah.
A disassociative way. He's like sort of anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, who knows?
There's it's definitely made some waves, and it sounds like, I guess in all the interviews I've seen from Lars von Trier, it was the reaction he was hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the guy's doing what he, like, again, similar to Tom Six, but like with Tom Six, you can almost feel a little smirk in his work, like just a little one.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just because, like, Tom Six, for all intensive purposes, seems like a more normal dude mm-hmm. than Lars von Trier. I guess that's what makes, like, this movie seem kind of strange.
Right.
But, you know, if he's doing, as long as he's, like, doing what's well within his rights, he can do whatever the hell he wants. It's just, I don't get the point of it, really, because I don't know that this is going to connect with an audience, like, unless it's like, I don't know, maybe like, since he's such a, he's a despotic serial killer, maybe there's another person who's a detective seeking him down.
Yeah, like American Psycho had that in a way, because Willem Dafoe.
Well, because American Psycho
is also funny as shit.
Oh, so you're saying it's like a little more justified because it's so funny?
Well, yeah, and it's like it's trying to say something like about.
Well, I think this was trying to say some things, like at least.
Oh boy, is it!
Well, no, like in the trailer when
he's saying it right to me, like Lars von Trier.
Oh yeah,
remember that monologue part?
Okay, see, that's the weird part. Is I was with it. I'm like, okay, mm-hmm. I get what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then he's like, but I think heaven and hell are the same place. I'm like, what? What did I get that statement. Mm-hmm. Also, but I don't understand what did it have to do with the first one?
Yeah.
What was he talking about at first?
In his defense, maybe that is a noted not a symptom, but like a trait of people with psychosis is speech patterns that are just weird.
That just kind of like drift from one thing to the other.
Yeah, but I bet that's a reach.
Yeah,
on my part.
No, I don't think so. Probably not.
No?
With his pretentious ass like bullshit.
Yeah, God.
Man, the dude's gonna make his weird, pretentious movies that push the envelope, and I guess he's allowed to do it. Who cares? I mean, not who cares, but it's like, I guess that's that.
Yeah.
You know? So, I'm not gonna lie. I've been curious to see his movies. I never have.
Yeah, I haven't. I want to see some of his more entry-level movies. Like, I hear Dancer in the Dark is okay.
Yeah,
it's the one with Bjork or whatever.
Ew.
I know. There was another one like Breaking the Waves with Stellan Skarsgård, who I like.
He's always in his movies.
Yeah, it's weird how like a guy who's like as reasonable sounding as Stellan Skarsgård is like such good friends with Lars von Trier.
He's in Marvel movies.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh yes, I'll be playing Dr. What's his name?
Dr. Selvig.
Yes, I'll be playing Dr. Selvig, and then I will be in this essentially a pornographic 4-hour film.
Yeah.
With my friend who makes movies about serial killers.
Yeah. Oh my God.
What a world.
What a world.
Yeah, but so that's Can.
That is
But real quick, Under the Silver Lake got mixed reviews.
It got mixed-ish reviews. There were people who were not very enthused by it, said it was a little bit too long. There were other people who called it very engrossing, and they liked the psychedelic weirdness of it. I feel like it's one of those movies, maybe like an Inherent Vice type deal, where it's like, this isn't for everybody. It's maybe too weird, but I'm still interested in it. I like the trailer a lot.
I really like the trailer because I like the idea of you're searching for something and having a psychedelic journey.
Yeah.
Instead of like a lot of psychedelic movies just seem like the director did acid and thought of some loosely connected thoughts. It's like this has like a regular plot. It just adds weirdness into it. Mm-hmm. It's like, where'd she go?
Right.
Oh, by the way, wacky town. That's why I don't know. I'm still holding out hope, and I don't expect a movie like that to ever just like, be a smash success like across the board. Mm-hmm. So
I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. And Star Wars Solo Story got 4-minute ovation, and then
I'm hearing different things about that movie.
Yeah,
with regard to
I'm not
what other people are saying about it. I don't know how it got that kind of an ovation.
I want to see it, but
I'm gonna see it.
No, I know I'm gonna see it. It's just like the more I gotta see it this weekend. Otherwise, I'm gonna like that's the kind of thing I'll lose interest in if I don't see it as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. It's not like everything else. I'm like, I gotta see it because I want to see it. God damn it! Don't want to. Oh my God, spoilers! I'm just like, all right, let's get to it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's Can. All right, now we move on to the review portion of the podcast. Today we're going to be first discussing Deadpool 2.
Yes. You saw that this week?
Yeah, I did, and you did as well.
I sure did.
All right, finally, something we've both seen. Jesus. It's been 2 whole episodes?
Yeah, since Avengers.
God, I know, it's been too long. Anyway, so now we've both seen the movie in question, let's get to it. So, I guess we're going to do something a little different this time. We'll give you a brief overview of what the plot is. Mm-hmm. Would you like to tell the audience?
Yes, so
I got it in the notes.
Yeah, this is a movie about Deadpool is basically saving a kid. He has to save a mutant codenamed Firefist from getting killed by a mutant named Cable, who just so happens to be someone from the future. And that's all we'll tell you in this section of the review.
We'll move to spoilers, give you a little bit more on that. But to start, I think the big question was, with something as outlandish as this, and I guess sort of gimmicky in a way, like, not like gimmicky, but there's a lot of like selling points where it's like, you'd think it'd be difficult to do it again. So the big question was, could they? And I would say, in a lot of ways, they did.
I would agree with you. I would say that one of the big things about Deadpool that made it... First of all, I'll say, in my opinion, I know you felt a little bit differently. I don't think this is as good as the first one. The only reason why that is because I think the novelty of the first one is something that it's an unfair advantage this is going to have, because Deadpool was the first to do a lot of things. It was like the first. Well, first of all, it was the first Deadpool movie, which was its own novelty, but it was like the first of these superhero movies to really call attention to, like, the tropes and all these, goofy things that all these superhero movies we've had for almost 10 years up to the point Deadpool had come out. All these tropes that these movies have, and it really was a breath of fresh air. I also thought the plot was a little bit more straightforward than that too, but they doubled down on that in this, and it works for the most part, but they also added new things. They improved on things that I liked in Deadpool 1 that, got better for this time around. Notably,
the action was much improved.
Right.
The first one, the fight scenes were fine, but there was nothing really of note about them. They're just kind of like, your average, decent martial arts swordplay scenes. These were, like, hard-hitting, like, good contact hit stunts.
Not even that, it was like, for one of my big problems with Deadpool 1, it was like, it felt like we spent way too much time on, like, that highway overpass. Didn't it feel like 2/3 of the movie was that? It wasn't bad, like, it was fun, and we did move eventually, but that first flashback took place, like, we kept flashing back from there.
Yeah.
Whereas this is, like, there's, like, in the first 5 minutes of this, we get, like, we montage, but, like, there's at least 5
I was gonna
set
say,
pieces.
Well, we'll talk about that montage later.
Right.
But just in general, the action scenes, they looked better.
Mm-hmm.
They were shot better, in my opinion.
At least the practical ones.
Right. I think the CGI ones were a bit. They were your CGI fights.
Yeah.
They were fine.
Yeah.
But obviously, I thought the practical stunts were really well done.
Oh yeah.
And there's one particular bit with Domino, which I'll save for spoilers, which I thought was pretty nifty.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that the choreography was especially, well, I can't say which scenes. God damn it. Fuck this. We're moving to spoilers relatively soon.
Yes, we'll get there.
I hate talking about this shit without spoilers. But anyway.
The action's better.
Yeah, the action's better. I would say the pacing of the fights felt more frantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because there's, like, two sorts of fight scenes. The ones that just kind of feel like 1 and 2 and block and punch. And then there's the ones that's like, I'm trying to actually kill you. Which, again, I'll bring up, was it Amber something? The one that caught Bruce Lee's attention.
Oh, yeah.
Part of that's because it was like a sort of real fight. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can tell, like, there's the ones where you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
Like, the ones that feel more tension. Mm-hmm. And there's definitely more tension in these fight scenes. Even though they were also surprisingly funny, a lot of them at the same time.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, especially with the pacing.
It just felt more, I don't want to say more real, because it's like, it's a movie, but...
Well, it felt, there's the bridge between, like, cinematic fight and, like, real fight.
Yes,
and it straddled that line very well. Like, John Wick is very cinematic, but it also feels very real, because it's all done in camera.
Right, but even though it's so implausible.
Yeah, and that did a lot of it. They did a lot of it in this.
And that makes sense, obviously, with the first John Wick being directed by, or co-directed by David Leitch.
Yes,
and Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
And this.
Let's get the pronunciation straight.
Leitch or Leach?
Is it David or David? Or no, I'm just kidding.
No.
Okay. I've heard Leach, but I don't know.
I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna call him Leitch because I don't fucking know.
Either way, I respect the fuck out of him.
Yeah, dude, I'm a huge fan. I've been kissing ass about all his movies, and and this is another one where I will continue to do so, because really all the things that he's known for, I thought were done well in this.
Yeah.
Like, really any of the problems I had were writing, but we'll get to that in a second. But again, so the fight scenes had more tension, and in addition to that...
The movie looked good.
Yes. Yes, it did look good. I was going to say the cinematography is something I really noticed looked very slick in this.
Yeah.
Especially any of the night... Again, it's sort of becoming a David Leitch staple.
Yeah.
The nighttime scenes with
either
rain or just
lots of
like
blue.
blue, and a lot of pink, like neon signs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks a lot better than one. I mean, a lot of one, that whole highway fight is like overcast, just like really dreary, like concrete tones, and you're like, this is just, it's funny and it's a fun scene, but like, this is just like candy, man. Like it looks like candy for the eyes.
Oh, it really does. And in addition to that, they had some other characters and other costumes and stuff.
Yeah, really popped.
Yeah, I thought all that popped real well. What else have we got in non-spoilers? Cinematography was surprisingly crisp, is what I wrote down.
Well, I mean...
yeah, we said it looked good.
Oh, yeah. It's crisp for sure. Very crisp. Brisk, too, if you
contrast,
use that.
Yeah, contrast of colors. And all right, so...
Well, let's talk about the main event. Like, the additions to the cast. Brolin is Cable.
Yeah. All right.
Is it Zazie or Zazzy Beats?
I don't fucking know.
As Domino.
Can people just go on record and be like, hey, this is how you say it?
Yeah. We need to have that with like 15 actors. I'm not sure how to pronounce this person's name.
Well, and some last name people.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. I liked Domino.
Yeah.
One thing, this isn't really spoilers, but I really wish she was just in it more.
Me too.
I feel like she was barely in it, and from what I heard, that she was like added in.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how little was she in it before then?
It's weird.
Or like reshoots added a lot or something like that.
Honestly, reshoots were definitely not something that crossed my mind while watching this. I don't know why, but I literally just thought about it like this week, like 2 days ago. I was like, they reshot a bunch of shit in that movie, didn't they?
I didn't think about that during the movie at all. Like nothing stood out like, oh, that's such a reshoot.
Yeah, it wasn't like Justice League where you're like, okay, this is a scene where like Ben Affleck is talking like he's dead inside, and clearly this is a fucking reshoot.
Yeah, and it's pretty true.
Yeah,
some of those scenes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know though. Even in movies like that, like I don't really usually notice.
Right.
What'll happen is I'll research a part where I'm like, that was stupid. And then they'll be like, yeah, that was a reshoot. I'm like, oh, well, that was like ill-advised. Yeah, but nothing in this like smacked you in the face like that's an obvious reshoot. I thought about it right after the movie. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I like, kind of did like a visual scan of the movie in my head. And I couldn't really think of anything that was like, obviously that was.
Yeah.
I can think of one, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
With Domino.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Right.
I get what you mean, though. I wasn't angry about it or upset, but I definitely also felt like I wanted a little bit more because they make a display a couple times of her powers in the movie,
right?
And it definitely left me feeling like, really, that's it? Like, okay,
yeah.
Not disappointed, but I liked it.
Yeah, no, I thought she was fine.
I loved Cable though.
Cable is, okay. I've got a thought about Cable. It's gonna sound crazy.
Oh,
he was so 90s comic book that he out 90s comic booked the Cable from the comics. He out 90s him.
Oh man, I love it.
And I mean, that was part of like an on-running joke is Cable is just like, geez, you're so like, so dark and all this and all that. But yeah, Cable was really good. Pretty fantastic.
And that's just, I mean, that again goes to show like Josh Brolin is a master at this. Like, just acting. Like, he's a fantastic actor, and I know this is an unpopular opinion for some people at least, but for me, if I had to pick between Cable and Thanos, I'd probably pick his performance as Cable, just because, like, I feel like this could have went a lot worse than Cable, or than Thanos, because, Cable has a lot less in this to do than Thanos does, and yet he makes every moment, every look, because Cable doesn't say much a whole lot in this. All of that it just feels, it's precious time, and Josh Brolin uses it very wisely.
He's like a super important part of the movie, though.
Yeah, and that was actually also something I liked, is people were saying, like, coming out of this, like, well, Cable's not in it that much. I'm like, no, he's not the focus, but like he's in it. Like I felt enough. I'm like, it wasn't like Domino where I'm like, there's not enough.
He's incidentally kind of the focus.
Yeah, especially towards the end.
Well, and Jesus Christ, keep saying this.
Yeah, we'll get to it
in spoilers. But yeah, okay, so we'll go over one more point, and then I just can't stand this anymore.
Yeah, no, we got it.
Okay, the point is, it's pretty good. The action's good, and the acting's pretty solid. And one more point, and then we'll get to spoilers. So, I thought the comedy, that's something I thought that was much improved also. Because, like, the first one, I thought the comedy was all right, but I was like, I could tell that they're, like, you know, going after, like, hardcore, like, Deadpool fans, like, comedy, sort of. I'm like, I don't know. It depends on who's writing, but there's been issues where I'm like, that's, like, you know, it's funny, but I'm not, like laughing myself hysterically. There's been a bunch of, like, recent runs, and I'm just like, Like, the comics themselves are fine, most of them, but, like, I don't really love the sense of humor. And the first one I thought was, like, it had definitely a lot of great jokes, but it's not like everyone wasn't landing. I would say it was similar this time. Like, there's some definite swings and misses. We'll get into that again. Jesus. But
no, I feel the same way. I think
like I would say it was like if the first one was like every like 7 out of 10 jokes landed, this was like 8 out of 10 jokes landed.
Yeah, I felt about the same. I didn't like. I laughed a fair amount, more than I do in any superhero thing.
Yeah.
But I did more smiling in this than most things. But I also again I did this. I feel the same way about the first Deadpool. I smiled a lot in that.
Yeah.
I laughed a bit here and there, but it's very funny. It's just that I don't know if there's a lot of jokes in there that'll hold up like over time. Like if I put it on cable.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Right.
I don't know if those jokes will like hit me as hard as they did in the theater, you know.
Okay, so and 1 minute and let's wait for it. And 1 hour and 1 minute and 15. That means spoiler talk.
Yes.
I invented that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so starting off with where we left off, wow, that was like a Yogi Berra-ism, wasn't it? But anyway, Jesus Christ. Phone. All right. Anyway, there's one joke that was like, wow, that was a swing and a miss. And it just kept fucking going. Where Domino's trying out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this like, it's like you weren't even trying to write this. This is just like the laziest. It's like, oh, being lucky's not a power. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Yeah, it is. Mario Lopez. It's like, I get it. You used it like, again. Now, I'll say this about reference-itis. These movies, they kind of get a pass because that's their thing. That's their shtick. Again, it's not referencing that I hate. It's just that it's done so badly most of the time.
Yeah.
But, again, that was like a weak reference. Mario Lopez. It's like,
yeah.
Haha.
I actually didn't even think that was a joke. Like, I just thought, like, this was like, I didn't think that scene was supposed to be a joke. Like, I was just watching it like, okay, this is like our introduction to like Domino and Deadpool's relationship.
But it was just, I don't know. It's just like, it was like, shut
I didn't
up
laugh.
already.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh. And I was like, what the
okay.
fuck is this? Just like, move on. But they at least had the decency to cut it back and forth.
Yeah.
Shot, reverse shot. So it's like, all right, if this is going to be unfunny, you're moving it quickly.
Yeah.
Which I'd prefer way over the, like, you know, it'd be really cool if we did a long take of an unfunny joke. You know, like they did back in the day.
Right.
It's like, you mean back in the day when they had funny shit happening in those long shots.
Yeah.
All right. Do it your way. But yeah, I thought that was really super unfunny and just like,
yeah,
it just stuck out because it's like 45 seconds of just like, what the fuck am I watching? Can we move along?
Yeah, for me there wasn't anything that bad where there wasn't anything like What Are Those in Black Panther where I'm like, my God, I need to find whoever wrote this. You know, it's like, who let this shit happen? Like,
right.
But there were some definite jokes where I'm like, okay, whatever. You know, not very funny.
Let's talk about some
of the better ones.
Yeah, what were some of the good ones?
There were some great sight gags.
We're forgetting the best line.
Which
for
one?
Sure. I don't know who this Cable fella is, but he hasn't killed as many people as melanoma while he's putting the sunblock on.
Oh my God, Peter.
Peter was just great.
There's a lot of new characters in this I loved. Peter's one of them. Got some funny jokes in there. The sight gags I loved. I loved the opening image was the Logan,
the Wolverine
tree stump fucking thing.
Yeah, just like I kind of like that because it's like nothing sacred.
No.
Nothing at all.
And they had the cameo of the X-Men.
Oh,
You know, where are those
that
guys
was
at?
actually really, really solid.
That cracked me up hard because I'm like, that was not an easy joke to pull off. I know, because it's like we got to coordinate these schedules. You know they were shooting X-Men Dark Phoenix at the same fucking time.
Yeah, so
during the
they're like,
reshoots.
Hey, guys, you know.
I appreciated the shit out of that joke. I'm like,
Right.
wow, that was funny.
And I like how they did they look at him and close the door? Which describes everything. Because that's kind of an on-running thing in the comics too, is like, there was the Daniel Way run, I think. Yeah. There's like a few issues where he tries to join the X-Men.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? They're like, wow, you are a handful.
Right.
And even in like X-Force comics, it's like same deal. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, wow, you are too much.
Yeah.
What did you think of that whole thing where he's like trying to join the X-Men and do right?
It was weird. Like I liked it, but it felt like you know how like Family Guy episodes will start out and it's just like Peter's trying to learn how to do some dumb shit, and then it'll end with like, oh, now Lois is, you know, in jail or some shit, and it's like, how did we fucking get here? It's like by the end of Deadpool 2, I was like, this started out with Deadpool trying out for the X-Men. I was like, I didn't expect that, and I didn't expect it to go this way. Nor did I expect at that point Fire Fist, the character, to be as important as he ended up being.
Well, that's what, like, okay, I would say that's kind of an issue I had with the script. Mm-hmm. So we told the people at the beginning, the non-spoiler plot, it's like, it's kind of like you said, it's just like, how did we end up here? So it starts off, Vanessa's been killed.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then he kills the last gangster. It's like, well, that plot thread's wrapped up. Mm-hmm. But then, like, how the fuck does he even get involved in the X-Men?
Something about, like, is it something to do with his, he wants to...
Colossus is, like, his friend. Colossus is, like, his only friend in the X-Men.
I thought it had something to do with, one of the dreams he had of her.
Right, he had a dream, and it's, like, the afterlife world.
Oh, he kills himself.
Right.
And Colossus saves him.
Colossus saves him, and then it's like, oh yeah, so then it's like they just, you remember how like in the like really, really early 2000s Simpsons, mm-hmm. they'd start at somewhere, and then it'd have like nothing to do with the plot later.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was kind of like that, because they start like, oh, that's a lot to take in. Mm-hmm. Like, Vanessa's dead, but he killed or does he? Yeah, he catches the last guy and he throws him into traffic.
With him.
Well, yeah, because he like...
into the bus or whatever.
He like does an awkward like hug thing. Yeah, and then he like...
hugs him into the bus.
Hugs him into the bus or whatever, yeah. So then they're there, and then it's like, okay, Colossus comes, gets him. Now he's trying to do the X-Men. And then Cable comes, and of course we learn that Cable's trying to kill him. And then that's just like, what the fuck even happens in the middle? I mean, like...
They go to the jail, and...
Right.
The kid gets sent to...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, the kid's still in jail, and then they try to... That's when the faux X-Force learn gets set up. And that was something
What did you think about that? About all the or at least most of the X-Force just getting killed?
I thought it was funny. I really would have appreciated it more had I not been sold something different in the trailers. You know, like the trailer set up like, this is the X-Force.
Well, that's the problem. It's like, yeah, you subverted expectations, but that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
And I understand Deadpool is going to do that, or is going to try to.
Right.
Like, I thought one of the best examples, but this is like the right way to do it. Like, don't kill him. You know, the end is like, it's about being hero, and he just caps him. It's like...
Yeah.
It's like at the end of that Family Guy episode where it's like, well, I hope you learned a valuable lesson, Peter. Nope. Nope. And then the credits just roll.
Well, it's... Yeah,
it's like... One thing I've been hearing... Or actually, I heard Kermode saying this.
Oh, yeah?
He was saying that, like, he's saying that Deadpool shouldn't change. Mm-hmm. And that he's unapologetic, and he didn't like that he changed here.
He does. Especially from one. He's a lot less selfish in this.
Right, and it's just like,
He's more altruistic. Like, he's granted, like, he is trying to help this kid through the request of Vanessa because he's
Right.
like, you know, oh,
yeah.
but even then, it's like she says, like, oh, in the beginning, like, yeah, let's have a kid, and he's like all about it, like, yeah, I want to name our kid Todd or blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know if Wade Wilson would want to raise a child in a world that he knows is so shitty.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know if I buy that.
But it's like
again,
he loves Vanessa or
yeah,
whatever.
and so I look past it, but there's some story beats in here. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
That's what I mean. It's like I feel like most of my issues were with that. And then that's the other thing. We spend so much time with that stuff at the beginning, and the prison fight is all that's good.
Oh, I especially love the fight.
It kind of feels like we're just going from episode to episode in a weird way.
Do you remember that fight between Cable and Deadpool? Like when Deadpool's like in the fucking
prison.
In the prison, but he's still in the jumpsuit, and he like gets his like the part where he falls on the table and breaks like his pelvis.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And then the fight after that, where they're fighting to dubstep and shit.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of a missed joke, but it's like, who the hell could guess with music subgenres?
Right.
If you like, that's something I would never do if I was writing a script. Right. Like right now, like make a mumble rap joke. It's like that shit could be that. Well, mumble rap's gonna be gone in a short amount of time.
Oh, and they even make a joke about that. Don't they? At the end of it, it's like Deadpool says something like, you know, who knows? Even anybody watching this, dubstep is probably not even relevant anymore.
Right, and it turns out, like, I feel like that kind of got like a little chuckle out of people
because it kind of confirmed. Like, because I remember when that showed up, I'm like, really? Yeah, dubstep. That was that went out a little bit ago, didn't it?
Yeah, man. Roscoe, Exige, brah.
Yeah.
I remember I went to this festival once, off topic. It was the North Coast. And it was like some rock bands and like alternative and some cool like DJs and rappers and stuff. My friend and I walked up to the stage. We're like, what's going on here? We heard maybe about 3.5 seconds before, without looking at each other, without saying anything, drop a hat, spun around and walked the other way because it was Excision, and it's just like, it's just noise.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that fight scene was pretty rad. But again, it's like we have to wait so long to get to like Domino and to get teenage. What the fuck's her name?
Negasonic
Teenage Warhead to get back to them. It takes kind of a while,
right?
And again, I mean, I guess it's sort of what you were saying about like the way things are like advertised. I guess.
Yeah,
I'll say this. At the same time, I was like a little scratching my head on a couple of things. Like, wow, this is how long it takes for Domino to come into the story.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a little bit of that. I was also kind of like, oh well, I didn't see it playing out this way.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice.
It was, and but I couldn't help thinking to myself, imagine how much funnier this would be if I didn't know anything about this, and like if I didn't see X-Force in that trailer. Like, the fake X-Force. Because at that point, I didn't know Bill Skarsgård and Terry Crews were going to be in this. Like, I didn't hear that casting news. Like, the news, when that hit me, it was the trailer. I'm like, holy shit, they're in this? So at that point, I had expectations going in. But then the movie subverted that, and it was funny, but, like, I feel like had I been in the theater and learned that then, instead of 3 or 4 weeks before, it would have been even funnier.
Right.
You know, like, and being like, holy shit, they just killed all of them. And that was funny too. You know, the Brad Pitt cameo.
Also, the montage, back to that at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
What kind of was like a bummer is like there's a lot of cool, really really cool looking scenes. I thought those were some of the best, honestly.
My favorite was the one where like this one was a long take where he's like running, where he's chasing the dude down the hallway, the drug lab.
Yeah.
And everything's in slow motion except for Deadpool. I don't know if you caught that. That was so fucking cool. Oh my god.
Right, but it was almost a shame. It's like I felt like that was this is kind of what we were talking about last week. It was like I felt like those were some of the best parts.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I'd say those and the truck fight or the whole chase.
The whole truck sequence in the middle was fantastic.
Was really, I thought that was really strong. And again, this is what I was saying again. the ending, which was fine and had a good amount of action. It didn't compare to the truck scene. It didn't compare to the prison scene. It didn't compare to the
opening montage.
Multi-montage fight scene.
Was that domino scene you were talking about at the end? Is that the one you're talking about? Where
There's a real... the
dude gets decapitated?
That was so great, because I'm like, now that's how you make some practical stunts, guys.
I'm like, man, that was funny. Because I remember he got like wedged in between the bed and that thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's it. And it's like, nope, he's going to get his head taken off.
Her fight scene was good stuff, too.
Yeah, I really loved it, and I'm like, I want more of this. Like, I would love to see...
I think he's just excellent at getting people to really look like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I thought it was... though I will say, I love the truck sequence. I thought her initial sequence where, like, we see finally her luck powers on display.
Oh, when she's... Well, because that leads into the truck sequence, doesn't it?
It's fun, but the CGI, man, in some of that was not great.
Okay.
Well, like the cars swerving out of the way, I'm like, this looks like Crazy Taxi. But like,
Crazy Taxi.
Oh yeah, I was still having fun though. I'm like, holy shit.
Right, but again, the last scene just it wasn't as cool or as grandiose as everything else. Because like the one thing, because it was like kind of a boring building, whereas like you have the city, you got the big truck.
Low battery.
Oh fucking hell! keep it talking.
Yes. So there's a certain character in this scene that I think illustrates your point of it not being as interesting, and that is...
Hold up. Almost got this plugged in.
Juggernaut.
Yeah, okay. So, hold up. Yeah, see, I felt like Juggernaut was kind of like, well, we need to make this more interesting, because it's really like... It's not even really fully a fight. It's like, they're trying... It's Cable's like, you got 30 seconds, or I'm going to kill the kid. And Deadpool's like, no, let me talk to him. It's like, he's burning some stuff down, and Juggernaut's just kind of there. And it's like, well, we got to have that Colossus and the X-Force, X-Junior, X-Men, whoever the hell, what, Yukio. And,
Negasonic Change Warhead.
Yeah. And so we got to have them dealing with Juggernaut to make this more interesting. Oh, by the way, we'll also have Domino fighting inside. And her fight scene was cool, and I thought that was a great part. Like, the fighting was cool, but also the luck powers thing was neat.
Right.
But overall, all of that added up was not as good as any of the scenes before it. And again, I think all of that stuff was solid.
Yeah, no, I think you're right.
But it's like, it was sort of a weak ending, because it's like, don't do it. And it's like... All right, so we gotta confront the kid, but like you can't really like fight him.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get what I mean? It's one of those awkward. It's like suspenseful, kinda.
Yeah, I like the idea of it.
Right, I do too. But I think they could have had it at a more
interesting location.
Or better yet, like if you really want to like double down on the Juggernaut thing, like maybe there's other stuff going on, like it's a larger scale battle in addition to trying to stop him.
Right.
And I understand maybe that would overcrowd it, so that route might be difficult. So I can understand why they tried to keep it simpler, but it just reminded me of fucking Bullet, man.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, why the fuck would you have a car chase that good and then have the it's like, stop. Yeah. All right, let's chase you on foot in an airport.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I do get that.
Again, it's like, this is why I like John Wick 2 better than the first one. Interestingly enough, which David
Another
Leitch
John Wick.
David Leitch was not around for 2, but
no.
But again, I mainly think of him as an action director rather than, because again, screenplays do have to do with obviously a lot to do with the set pieces, if not everything. So again, it's just like I like the final scene, but I was kind of like, after I realized that was like the climax, after Wade is shot and dead for just a moment, I'm like, really? Like, is there more?
Yeah.
Especially because you're used to these movies being long. You're like, but is there another hour where maybe they go off planet or something?
I was doing that when they were forming the fake X-Force. I was like, no way, this is the end of the movie. I'm like, are they really doing this now? Like, this is going to be the climax of the movie, and it sure as shit isn't. And I was glad I was wrong. But that brings me to another thing, which is like, in hindsight, I'm realizing that this movie is basically a setup for the actual X-Force, which we learn at the end is Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Colossus, Cable, Domino, Yukio, and like, they slipped it by me. I'm like, you slipped by an obvious world building movie. This was like, it was like not as bad Batman v Superman in a way. Where it was there to build the story and set up a further film team up, but it was also a good movie on its own in a way.
Yeah, but see, I think part of that might be because in Batman v Superman, they're trying to build everything from scratch in a way, where this, it's like that you've got nearly 20 years of X-Men movies that are
and some of the pieces
supposedly the same timeline.
Right, and some of those pieces were already in place from one. Obviously Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are there. The X-Men's already established.
And Yukio is like, you could just kind of place her there. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, she's dating, what's her name?
Yeah.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Jesus. Anyway, yeah.
Right.
But about that whole time travel thing. So
yeah.
It turns out when he gets shot or whatever, Cable uses his... Oh, they reveal that, and I thought that was a good line. Well, I can only use one to go backward in time, and one to go forward. It's like, well, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah, I liked how they're just like, you know what, none of this complicated time travel bullshit. It's just like, here's one rule. This is all you have to follow, audience.
Well, and again, you know how I feel about time travel in movies, and how I can probably count on one hand how many times I've liked it, and the other, like, 150 times I've hated it.
Right.
I mean, I just hate it as a trope in general. But, what was he going to say? Oh, yeah, so he goes back in time. How far does he go? Oh, he just goes to put the skee ball thing in, the skee ball token.
Oh, yeah.
So that saves him. I thought
genuine lead.
I thought that was a
high-grade lead, or what did he say?
Yeah. I thought that was a clever piece of writing.
I like it. I mean, I
liked that.
But the thing I will say is I knew that was going to happen.
Obviously.
I'm like, this is not Cable's last movie at all. But I liked it still. I was like, I like where this is going, even though I know where it's going to go.
And then he's like stuck there. He's like, fuck it. So I'll use my thing. I'll give him the token.
Right.
And I'll save him. And then, what's his face? Fire Fist or whatever the fuck. He's like, oh, I realized the Aber's in my way.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. And then he's all fine with everything. And then they go buck wild because, like, for no reason, Negasonic Teenage Warhead and Yukio just know how to fix it.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm not going to question it too much. This is Deadpool. Fuck it, who cares? So then he goes crazy in the mid-credits and kills, like, older Cable, or kills the Wolverine Origins Cable.
Or Deadpool.
Yeah, sorry, Jesus Christ. Deadpool, and then he kills young Ryan Reynolds.
He saves Peter.
Yeah.
Saves Vanessa, which I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't get why he didn't save the rest of the X-Force.
Because he only likes Peter.
Oh, that's right. He didn't like any of them. He's like, they're all kind of tools or whatever. So he saves Vanessa, and it's like, you kind of undid everything. It's like, all right.
I mean, I'm kind of hoping that isn't canon. I hope we come back to 3 and it's not, she's not there. Or maybe she's not, like, I don't know. Because I like the capacity she was featured in this movie, which is some people disagree with. They don't like that they killed her.
I'm kind of like, either kill her or use her more. Like, I don't know. Just do something.
I felt the same way about her as I felt about Rachel Dawes, but not as strongly. About
Rachel Dawes, I didn't give a shit.
That's what I mean. Like, I like Vanessa a little bit more, but like the fact that they killed her, I'm like, okay, I understand. Like, it's not her movie. Deadpool. That's obviously going to advance his character.
That's one of the things that is weird about the X-Men movies lately. Mm-hmm. So for a while, they're like, we could fuck all care how accurate we are to the comics. Mm-hmm. And then for, like, some movies, like, well, what if we tried to be a little bit? And you'd see stuff like Psylocke sort of looked like pretty accurate, or
Yeah.
like really all the Horsemen for like, and then like Magneto started to have a redder outfit, but they're like, nah, but we don't really care. Here's Apocalypse. It's like, what? So you've confused me with this one movie alone, and I feel like they've been kind of going back and forth on that. And Deadpool again, they did it again.
I also have a question. I have another accents question.
What's that?
From a comic book movie. Juggernaut's accent.
New York, I guess.
Yeah, so he's not British anymore. He's not Vinnie Jones.
Well, is he British in the comics? Because he's Professor X's half brother.
Well, yeah, but in X-Men Last Stand, he's Vinnie Jones. I mean, he's got I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
He's British or Australian?
I thought he was. I know is Vinnie Jones British or Australian?
I'm pretty sure he's like super British, and I was like way wrong for.
He might be Australian now that I mention it in hindsight.
Is he? What the hell is he?
Vinnie Jones is British, but
that's what
I don't know. But he definitely had an accent in 3.
No, he's like, like you let me out here, go pee.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't care because they also had the pre Bryan Singer X-Men in this movie make a cameo, and I didn't question it.
Yeah, we're splitting hairs. That's what I'm saying. Is like Deadpool just really doesn't give a fuck, and I think it was almost perfect timing. Because just as I was starting to be like, with Apocalypse, I was like, well, what's going on here? And they're like, just shut up. just shut up. Who cares? Like, I guess Deadpool is essentially giving them a free pass to make absolutely no sense.
Right.
Maybe that's what DC should do.
Yeah. That's what I said is they make a good synthesis between like sort of caring about continuity, but also when the chips are down, letting a filmmaker do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, maybe they should do that.
Because they did it with Logan and it worked. They did it with Deadpool 1 and 2 and it worked.
And like the regular X-Men series, like it's doing okay.
Well, I mean, I would say Days of Future Past was kind of that, because like
Days of Future Past was amazing.
Well, yeah, because you had Bryan Singer come back and was like, I want to rectify, some of the mistakes that have happened here in Last Stand, especially. And
then
they're like, all right, fine.
Apocalypse is alright.
I like it. I understand it's not the best.
Yeah. But again, this just like kind of just has solidified that like they've given up trying on this whole timeline thing.
Yeah, and I admire that. I admire the the laissez-faire attitude towards this whole universe. And it's making for some fun stuff that I'm going to be shocked to see how, if they get bought by Disney, will transfer,
Well, but that's not going to come into effect for another
couple years, yeah. So that probably isn't a big deal. Well,
I imagine like there wouldn't be a movie made until like with the deal in place for like 3-4 years.
Yeah, and I think
where the deal would affect it somehow.
And I think Deadpool 3, which I think we heard might end up being called X-Force, I think that's in pre-production now.
I don't get how it's really not gonna be, because all these movies are basically team-ups anyway.
Right.
I think,
and
unless they call it like Deadpool 3
by the
X-Force.
They gotta be going up against Mr. Sinister, am I right?
Fuck, I don't know.
Huge. I mean, the Essex School for Boys, like that whole thing.
Aren't they doing some thing where they're going up against like a female Mr. Sinister?
In Dark Phoenix? Because I know Jessica Chastain's the villain in Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, but I don't fucking know. There's something.
All I know is I saw the name Essex everywhere, and I'm like, that's fucking Mr. Sinister, and I'm like, maybe we'll be getting him.
I think I heard some weird rumor that's supposed to be like the female version who's apparently in the new comics. Fuck if I know.
I don't.
For
all intents and purposes, probably.
Yeah. You want to talk about complicated timelines? Yeah. It's even worse right now.
Yeah.
Like, cause I was a big fan, as you know, for a long time, and I dropped off when they started doing like ridiculous shit.
Right.
And whenever I try and jump back in, I'm like, you know what? This is why I left. It's like this is I can't fucking follow this.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of shit to go around. There's a timeline that makes. They're just basically doing whatever the fuck they want, and I'm kind of cool with that.
I'm cool with it for sure. I'm still here.
It seems like they're gonna, in any event, always have Deadpool be sort of a companion piece to the X-Men rather than directly intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's a good point.
I don't know though, like how the fuck would that even? Because I feel like if he's in it, it'll work better if he's like the star.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he will end up being the star in the way that like an Iron Man or a Cap will be a star of the Avengers, you know?
All right, so now's this moment of truth. What would you give it?
I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10.
And I would give it a 4 out of 5.
That's about the same. That's what, a 12 out of 15?
12 out of 15.
That's pretty good. That's a passing grade if I've ever
really
seen
wanted to like love the hell out of it and give it a perfect score, but there were the issues were there in a little bit in the script.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that everything just kind of felt like, well, that was pointless when everything gets wiped back.
Right. Everything's undone.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of that, but again, overall solid. Action sequences were fantastic. Mm-hmm. The humor was, I would say, better this time around.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked great. So again, 12 out of 15. We're still looking for that perfect score, the first one of the year, whatever it is.
I'm looking at you, Solo.
Nah.
I'm just kidding. Mission Impossible Fallout. Let's do this. That might be the summer stealer, I'm thinking.
You think so?
Oh, God, I hope so. I'm waiting for it.
I don't know, man. Uncle Drew is looking pretty rad.
Oh, man.
It was actually funny. I was watching the playoff game last night.
Oh, was there like a TV spot like every 5 minutes?
Well, they're talking about making it because like Shaq's there. And, like,
right.
And one of the dudes, I can't remember his name. He's
Uncle Drew himself on the sidelines, Kyrie.
Yeah, they were talking about making it, mm-hmm. and he's like telling how there's like a director or someone, and he's like, no, dude. He's drawing a play up on a whiteboard. Like, that's not how you do it. And he's just like showing him how it's done. But yeah, 12 out of 15, Deadpool 2 in a theater near you. Or actually, in a theater near you right now.
Yeah, already there near you.
Already there near you, Deadpool 2. How about you?
And a dog named Blue.
Yes. All right, that does it for that review. Well, we've done it again. That was way too long.
Yep.
So now we move on to our what I think will be our sole game segment. It's another round. It's the comeback round of guess the movie based on the critic bashing. So you gave me a few, and I had to guess, mm-hmm. and it was tough. But now your catch this time is that it's based on internet critics.
Uh-oh.
Instead of real ones. So without further ado, are you ready?
I sure am.
All right. So, your first review comes from a IMDb user called Jellynecker.
Okay.
Like neck? Like Jellyneck R?
Oh,
anyway.
okay.
Anyway, they gave a 1 out of 10 to this movie. And the review reads as such. I saw blank on UPN a few weeks ago, and I have to say that I don't see why everyone considers this movie to be such a classic. I mean, it's just a bunch of violent trash and guys with bad attitudes. I don't know how the MPAA possibly could have given this movie an R rating. The violence was enough to earn it an NC-17 rating. It was too gory, too. Or it was so gory, too. I should have changed the channel. Were they?
UPN?
Yeah. This was written in 2001.
Oh, man.
This review is actually so old that when I searched for it, it was funny reviews, and I tried finding it on IMDb now, and I don't know if it's there.
Oh, God.
There was another user with that name, but they reviewed like 1,000 movies, and a bunch of them were violent. So, anyway... Was the movie in question A, Scarface, B, Goodfellas, C, Godfather, or D, Pulp Fiction?
Oh, I'm going to say Goodfellas.
Ah, damn, you got me.
See,
well done.
Here's one thing I'll concede with her on. Holy shit, is that movie violent? But
yeah.
it's for a purpose. It's like, this isn't supposed to be like, people walking out of this movie aren't supposed to be like, yeah, I want to be a gangster when I grow up. I don't know why you bring your 4-year-old to see Goodfellas, but
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, this is not a glorification of that. If anything, it's like, yeah, look how fucking horrible this lifestyle is for anybody involved.
My favorite part is she just talks about how violent and then says, "It was so gory too."
Was this transcribed from someone's aunt at like a fucking family reunion?
I don't know.
I saw that movie Goodfellas on your UPN.
It was violent.
It was violent. I didn't understand a lick of it, and it was so gory too.
Yeah, it's like, all right, little redundant there.
Yeah.
Aunt Maisie.
Aunt Maisie. Aunt Flo.
Everyone has an Aunt Flo. Yeah. Anyway, so well done. You done good.
Okay.
All right. 2 is a review by username Nick Damon.
Okay, no relation.
He gave this film a 1 out of 10. Wow, a bank robbing movie with little interest. What do you think will happen? Not much. It's a lame film with little development and no funny or catchy lines. No real action, it just drags. If this is the quality filmmaking in the 1970s, then they had some pretty low standards around that time. The robbery and everything that happened in the bank and around the bank was a total letdown. So boring. Why did I bother to waste my time watching it? Oh, 'cause I was too lazy to turn off the TV.
Okay.
Alright, so were they talking about A, Dog Day Afternoon, B, The Getaway, C, The Friends of Eddie Coyle, or D, Going in Style? That's the original.
Is it Dog Day Afternoon?
Yeah. I knew that was too obvious, but I just thought the review was funny.
Man. No fun, no memorable lines, really? Attica?
Attica!
Come on, man. I'm like...
Or when
I
he
don't know.
screams at his wife on the phone.
Yeah.
I think this person, I'm going to guess they're younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really get... Well, because they said, if this is what they thought was good in the 70s, there was no lasers.
Mm-hmm.
It's like... Like, you know how there's, like, thrillers? There's, like, action thrillers. There's, like, all sorts of different, like, genre mashups.
Right.
I think this person was under the impression that this is going to be a big, like, large action movie shoot 'em up.
Yeah, it's like, this isn't Heat.
Right.
You know, this is like it's a drama first before it's
Right.
a heist movie. It's not a heist movie.
All right, not everything can be as awesome as Demolition Man. And
Right.
I understand that struggle is unfortunate.
It is.
But this is it's a dramatic piece about a guy who resorts to bank robbing.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie, by the way.
It's good stuff.
All right, so moving on. Review 3 comes from user Pixelwood.
Okay.
One word. They also gave this film a 1 out of 10. Possibly the most ludicrous and terrible film ever made. I am shocked to how people found the ridiculous, predictable, and boring plot appealing. So that kind of sounds like it should have been a period. But anyway, So, possibly the most ridiculous movie ever made. I'm shocked as to how people found the ridiculous, predictable plot, boring plot so appealing. The fact that it has managed to get into the top 100 movies of all time speaks volumes of how little people understand or appreciate movies from the 1930s.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. No, it's all in the answer. It's like that review is like kind of like, wow. But wait till you get these choices. Is it A, King Kong, B, Wizard of Oz, C, Modern Times, or D, It Happened One Night?
Wizard of Oz?
How did you get that?
Well, you said it's like you got to hear the answer, and it's like which one of the? I was thinking which one of those movies is probably regarded the highest. Got to be Wizard of Oz.
I thought I don't know. Yeah,
This fucking guy thought
I gave it away.
This guy thought Wizard of Oz. What did he? Go through that quote again.
Possibly the most ludicrous and terrible film ever made. I am shocked as to how people found the ridiculous, predictable, and boring plot so appealing. That is like a sentence from hell. Like, just reading it is hard. The fact that it has managed to get into the top 100 movies of all time speaks volumes of how little people understand and appreciate movies of the 1930s.
Huh.
Now, don't get me wrong. It's like, all right, dude. Like, I'll level with you. It's like, it's not my favorite thing ever made. But, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't.
That's a production, man. That's a lot of work.
Like, I get it. Like, if he just stuck to, like, he said a couple things in there. I'm like, well, you can't think it's. He said it was boring and dumb. Like,
okay,
I get that it's dumb. Like, yeah, okay, there was fucking,
predictable and boring
scarecrows.
plot. So he doesn't understand how it's so appealing. It's like, all right, was it predictable that like munchkins would pop out and that the trees would start throwing apples? What part is like? Let me guess. The monkeys are flying.
Let me guess. You throw water on the witch and she gets killed. It's like, yeah, because that trope was established by this movie, you idiot.
Yeah. or he's like, let me guess. The lion probably needs courage.
Seen this one before.
It's like,
moron. The Wiz is better. I bet this guy thinks The Wiz is better.
Ooh, okay. That's a conversation I don't want to get started, but in some ways, actually, no.
Hey,
it's okay. It's hard to say.
Man, Richard Pryor was the wizard in that movie.
Ooh,
they had a giant metallic talking Richard Pryor head as the wizard instead of that weird green thing from the first one.
And that song, and they had a cooler "Getting on the Road" song. Keep on down the road.
Yeah.
It was a lot cooler than "We're Off to See the Wizard." It's like, we're just a bunch of losers.
They didn't have the Lollipop Guild, though.
Yeah, that's a classic.
But they also didn't have an abandoned roller coaster in The Wizard of Oz.
But they told you that he's the Wiz and that he lives in Oz.
Yeah.
They had some classic club bangers, as the children call them nowadays.
They also don't get attacked by trash cans in The Wizard of Oz.
Man.
In a subway.
Wow. You know what? I think that could be a topic in and of itself, comparing the two. But yes. Moving on. Number 4 is a username CZ Risher, all one word. A 1 out of 10 is, again, people really hate these movies. Okay, here goes. I've little comment to give beyond saying this movie was a pain to sit through. A previous reviewer mentioned the age of the story and was right to do so. I don't think I've ever seen a worse rendition. It was blatantly obvious from the beginning, as was everything else about the movie, who would succumb and what the result was. There were neither surprises nor good acting nor good writing. Huston's blank was the only non-painful part of the movie, and that's hardly an endorsement. Is this person bashing A. Chinatown, B. African Queen, C. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, or D. Key Largo?
Treasure of the Sierra Madre?
You are 4 for 4, sir. Well done.
You know what? I haven't seen that movie.
That's an excellent film.
So I can't vouch, but I'm going to assume he's wrong for many reasons.
The one thing about who will succumb, it's like they don't make that like it's not like a mystery like who done it.
Mm-hmm.
I know what he's talking about. It's about the curse of the gold, if you will.
Oh, right. Well, that sucks for this guy.
Yeah, it sure does. And for your final review, this is a short one.
Okay.
KSE/KG wrote of this film, my only question was, why would Matt Damon play in a movie like that?
All right.
And your choices are A. Born Identity, B. Good Will Hunting, C. The Talented Mr. Ripley, or D. Unsane.
Unsane?
God damn it.
See, I felt
How did you know?
I felt like that was an outlier because it's like he's not the main character in that one, and he's the main character in all the other 3.
I knew I should have put. I had Interstellar as one of the choices originally.
Damn. See, that would have threw me. I would have been like, which one of the 2? See, I would have. My process of elims would have gotten fuckered.
I don't know. Yeah, you got all 5, but
really, that was the biggest question that guy had going out of that movie. Not, did she really see the boyfriend again at the end?
All the other 1 out of 10s were people like, it didn't need to be shot on your iPhone. It was dumb. I've seen better movies on YouTube of my ducks or
The
whatever.
acting was good, though.
Yeah. there are so many of those on there. There's all these 1 out of 10s. They're like, they bitch about a bunch of stuff. Like, I mean, it was a pretty cool premise, and like, it's like the premise set up by a movie you watched. It's like, you have to.
See, it bothers me even more on Metacritic, where you
No,
can give zeros, because it's like people give zeros all the time, and they'll say something like, "Thought it was okay," but it's like, you're not allowed.
I thought it was okay, but like, it was a little long. 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
But whatever the case was, you clearly you done whooped me in the competition.
Well, I'm as shocked as you are.
Well, it's just because I suck at choosing multiple choice answers. It's just like it was. You have no idea how hard it was to find the perfect reviews.
Yeah, some of them, it's weird.
Because really, the funniest ones and the like really really bad or really inflammatory ones are always the ones that have like tons of spoilers in them.
Oh yeah.
Like they're my favorite review I think I've ever read, because I'm inclined to agree with this guy. Mm-hmm. Or maybe not, because I can't decide if this movie was a 1 out of 5 or a 2 out of 2 bombs. Was Spring Breakers.
Oh,
this guy gives you the play-by-play, and like all of it happens, and he's not being ridiculous or exaggerating. He's like, and then this happens, and then they rob another bank, and it's like the way he goes through it is, oh god, it's so funny.
My favorite user reviews are the ones where it's like they are clearly like a transcribed tirade, like they're written all in caps, and you can just see the person writing it, and they're like, and then they and it's just like, god damn it, like
there's this one where I kept seeing it everywhere. It's like, this movie should be NC-17. The MP. No, it was like a long tirade that is not specific to the movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about?
All one sentence.
Not necessarily. It had like weird like M dashes and like like hashtags and just like random symbols in between.
Oh, so it was probably copied from somewhere.
It was most definitely copied from somewhere. God. But it was just like, the MPAA should really care about this more, and it's like, this movie has lots of moral and like ambiguity and problems, and it's like, what is this all about?
Well, we're gonna have to do a third segment of this, right, where I go on Metacritic and give you some of the horrible 0 out of 10 reviews from there.
So I did IMDb, you did Metacritic. Mm-hmm. What should I do as a rebuttal?
Oh God, I don't know.
What do we got? Because there's Metacritic, IMDb. I don't know.
We'll have to figure it out.
I got it. It.
Okay.
It'll be YouTube comments.
Okay, yeah. I like it.
So it'll just be like random comments on YouTube.
About certain things, and we have to guess what they're about?
No. About
movies?
Movies.
Okay, cool.
Or it could be just random shit.
All right.
Man. Because only the most rational and the brightest and the most upstanding of citizens regularly comment on the YouTube.
That is a true statement if I've ever heard one.
Or sometimes actually funny people who seem normal.
Yes. Who I hope are normal.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. You won the challenge.
Yeah.
Although I think I might get you back on this new set, Metacritic versus YouTube.
Yeah. I like it.
I like this one. I do. All right, so that'll do it for episode 12. That makes it an even dozen.
It sure does.
So if you like what you heard, make sure to press subscribe on YouTube or on SoundCloud. And check out our Facebook page, which is simply, again, bonus features with Alex and Robert. And then same name on YouTube, bonus features with Alex and Robert.
And if you'd like to talk to us, feel free to leave us a comment on any of those platforms. Let us know what you thought of the episode, or what you want us to talk about for next week, or anything like that.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, as I reminded you earlier, you could talk to us or comment to us about the trailer for Sick for Toys. Tell us what you thought.
Give us a hot take.
Give us your take on it, and maybe
or a sick take.
Yeah.
On Sick for Toys.
Yeah, just let us know, and thank you for listening. This just in, God has been proven to exist. Robert, would you like to tell everyone the news?
So as a last bit of parting news to you all, Paramount has officially pulled the next Transformers sequel from their release date schedule, that is.
This is great news. but Bumblebee's still happening.
That's okay. You know what? If that sucks, that means that's the final nail.
All right. So yeah, again, there's this. So no more Transformers. Think about that. Think about how great that is. All right. So go now in peace. Thank you for listening.